now, we're going to take you around all 20 Premier League clubs. Dharmesh, where should we start?
Let's start on A and Arsenal, James. Stuttgart in talks with Arsenal over the signing of their midfielder Fabio Vieira.
Newcastle involved in Europe once again, as we know, at the highest level. And Ramsdale, former club Arsenal, you mentioned them, James. They've already been busy. Might not be done yet. What's happening now with Eberechi Eze? Where are we at with this one?
Yeah, look, first of all, Arsenal, yes, as you mentioned, busy in the market so far. 6 players already they've brought in. Victor Gyökeres, the latest of which joining the likes of Martin Zubimendi, Christian Norgard, Christian Mosquera, Kepa Arrizabalaga, and Noni Madueke. Outgoing's probably going to be the focus, but there is still interest in Eberechi Eze of Crystal Palace. 27-year-old's got 2 years left of his contract. Has a release clause of around £67 million. Now, Arsenal are in talks with his representatives at this stage, so they've opened dialogue and they understand that the player is keen for the move. He would accept that move, but at the moment, there's no club-to-club contact at present. Arsenal's focus will be on players departing the club, and they're looking like the departure of Reece Nelson to Fulham. That looks like a potential another loan move, but I think Arsenal prefer that to be a permanent deal. Alexander Zinchenko, they're open to offers. Fabio Vieira as well, Albert Sambi, Lokonga. So there's plenty of players that probably need to leave the club first before Arsenal financially can make this deal work. But Eberechi Eze, I mean, for me, I love watching him play. I think he's got so much talent, creativity on that left-hand side, can float inside. I think he offers Arsenal a huge amount of versatility to their play. And the left-hand side of Arsenal's attack has been something they have been looking at improving in this transfer window. They have signed Noni Madueke. He's predominantly on the right, plays on the right side, back up to Saka maybe, can play on the left, but an Eze in that place is pretty exciting for Arsenal
my goodness.
fans. It really is.
Yeah. And Gyökeres to profit from all of that creative service, you would think. Yeah, so Arsenal already busy. They could get busier. And speaking of busy, Sunderland were already one of the biggest spenders in this window and potentially strengthening all over the pitch on their return to the Premier League, James.
Honestly, the signing today of Granit Xhaka could be the most remarkable signing of the transfer window. It came out of nowhere. I think fans are excited by that. For Sunderland to get an experienced player like Xhaka in, played in the Premier League for 7 years at Arsenal, a couple of years in the Bundesliga, and invincible with Bayer Leverkusen. He is now going to be starting the centre of the midfield in that young side, providing huge amount of Premier League experience. And he became Sunderland's 7th signing of the window so far. And you're looking at the amount of money they're spending. I think it's close to around 120 million at this stage. And you think, surely that's that. Not at all. So at the moment, Robin Roes, the 22-year-old Dutch goalkeeper, he's having a medical today ahead of a signing.
Arsenal's interest in a certain Eberechi Eze from Crystal Palace all this week. Where do we stand on that one now, Mark?
Yeah, still no formal club-to-club contact at this stage, but we know that Eberechi Eze has a release clause, which we understand to be 60 million plus 8 million in add-ons. However, it's just a case of who wants to trigger that and pay that in its current terms. Now, the terms will probably be quite strict with regards to the payment structure and the way that the buying club has to do this. So it'd be interesting to keep an eye on. We know that Mikel Arteta is keen on the player, likes Eze. He's just had a fantastic campaign. He's been one of those players who's been sensational since he's come in from Queen's Park Rangers. Is this the summer where he gets that big money move? One to keep an eye on. Yeah,
conflicting reports on this release clause, actually, because a few reports suggesting his release clause actually expires today.
OK.
Where there's other reports saying that there is an expiration date, but it's not necessarily today. And I think sometimes clubs like to negotiate on a release clause anyway. They sometimes might want to pay a bit more than the release clause in return for more favourable payment terms. So I think it's definitely one to keep an eye on, Eberechi Eze, as we get